Yo, ladies and gentlemen, what's going on? It's Eagle Talks Football. We are back again with another video. Crazy news. Mikel Merino has signed for Arsenal. Eddie Nketiah is going to Crystal Palace. Fábio Vieira has gone on loan. And in the last couple of minutes, we just heard Darwin Nunez interest from Arsenal Football Club. What on earth is going on? Do me a favor. Please hit that like button. This is a call of action. I need you guys to do me a favor. Hit that like button. Let's get this video past at least 300 likes. I seen you guys were able to do it on my uploads. You definitely can do it on the live stream also. So please do that. And I need to know, what do you guys think in the comment section? What do you guys think in the chat? Do you think Darwin Nunez is a good idea? I personally, we're going to get into it in a second, but this is ridiculous. Why on earth would we even consider signing Darwin Nunez? In my opinion, I think it's ridiculous. I think it's absolutely ridiculous. I don't want nothing to do with Darwin Nunez. This is crazy. But before we go any further, please do hit the like button, guys. I don't want to interrupt the show every 2 minutes to talk about you guys hitting the like button, but I'll need you guys to do that for me. Gunnar Soul's in the building. How you doing, my brother?
Yeah, man, I'm good. I mean, we needed to have this show because so much has come out of the Arsenal camp. So much news, obviously player announcements. But yeah, man, I think it's been an exciting day of just general football news, like Ugarte going to United, which is exciting for rivals because I think that's a disaster move for him. But
really,
I think it's horrible for them.
Wow.
Okay. But yeah, that's obviously a digression. But I think look, this is now like the clutch end of the window. I mean, I think it closes on Friday, I believe, or Sunday or something like that. So we're literally in the dying embers of this window, at least for the Premier League clubs anyway. So, yeah, man, I'm excited. I'm actually like turned on my Twitter notification for the first time in, I think, about a month now. So I'm back.
Yeah, this is a crazy transfer window. In the last 24 to 48 hours, there has been Chiesa to Liverpool potentially, Sancho Sterling swap deals, Ugarte to Man United, Ivan Toney, Osimhen are making moves. Osimhen might head to PSG. Ivan Toney might be headed to Arsenal or Chelsea. I even heard Ivan Toney to Arsenal. AFTV said they have a scoop that the Ivan Toney, Arsenal are speaking to Ivan Toney, and his camp are waiting for Arsenal to approach Ivan Toney before he makes any move to any other club. Oh, and congratulations to some of the Arsenal players making loan moves also. You got so many different things to discuss. But before we go any further, can we just talk about this bombshell that we just heard? This is crazy, bro. In what world? In what? Whoa. 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 Bro, the Nico Williams news just dropped. Look at this. Arsenal would be happy to meet Nico Williams' release clause, but as of yet, he hasn't shown the willingness or desire to move to England this summer. Crazy. This is crazy. Souls, we got to start with this.
I'm not allowed to talk on this yet. I've told you what I know, but yeah.
All right. Fair enough. This is crazy, though.
So what I'll say is, from what I've heard, the news is true. And what I'm also hearing is there's a potential that either tomorrow or the day after, Arsenal may trigger his release clause.
But my question, I'm not asking for no inside scoop because I do know you know people that are involved in football and stuff. I'm just simply asking your opinion on the player. Do you think he's a game changer?
This would be seismic. This would change the realms.
Nico Williams to Arsenal, is that the game changer that wins us the league?
This, not even forget the league. This changes the trajectory of everything we've done. Because if we can get someone who is hell-bent on going to Barcelona and we've managed to make him do a U-turn and come to us, is a seismic move. This propels us into different realms of possibilities. This changes the trajectory of everything we can do. This is that moment that, you know, when Man City came into the doors and said, we want that Erling Haaland, right? This is our moment. This is our moment to step into the realms of football and say, do you know what? We can sit at the tables with the Real Madrids. We can sit at the tables with the Barcelonas. We can sit with these, you know, clubs who have got legacies behind them, and we can take your players. because a move like this is seismic for more reasons than just the idea of just getting a Nico Williams. Forget about the player. It's what this player epitomizes in the transfer window. Because as you can see, one of the biggest tasks that we've got is actually convincing this player to actually join. And that's the hard part that Edu, because the thing is, the money is not the problem. Getting his release clause isn't a problem. The wage demands are very reasonable for the talent he possesses. The biggest part that we have to play is convincing him moving to Arsenal over moving to Barcelona is better for his career. And that's going to be the hard part. If they do it, do you know how this changes the game? Because
if we can,
this is Edu and Arteta written all over.
If we can get Nico Williams to snub Barcelona to join Arsenal, that is probably the biggest transfer hijacking that we've ever done in our club's history. And this is a statement showing everyone that we are well and truly considered back as one of the best teams in the world.
Yeah, this changes the pull, this changes the trajectory, this changes the project entirely.
And people are going to look at his GA, but as somebody who watches La Liga regularly, you can tell people this guy's a game changer without necessarily having.
Look, I've never hidden the fact that I think his end product needs work. I've always said this. I think that's the part of his game which, yes, he can develop. Like, I'm not saying it's crap, and I'm not saying that he's an awful player or anything, but his end product in terms of just his ability to finish is something where he does lack. But what the difference in a Williams is the presence, it's the aura, and he's a natural winger, which is what we miss him there, because Trossard likes to come inside. You know, Martinelli likes to play inside, whereas the Williams allows you to stretch the pitch a little bit more. He is basically your Bukayo Saka on the left-hand side. So for me, it's this, you know, this idea of that Martinelli needs players to handhold and we need to build the left-hand side for him. Williams comes in and he doesn't care. Like, if you want to play him inside, cool, play him inside. If you want him to play as more of a natural width player, you can do that. He's got the pace to go in behind. He's got the trickery. He's got everything. The only thing that I'll say is his end product is probably where the work is needed, and that's the question mark at the moment. But what I will say to people, his career feels like Vinny Jr.'s to me. You know, because before Carlo Ancelotti came into Real Madrid, a lot of people were a bit skeptical on Vinny because of the chances he was missing, the goals that he was returning, and then all of a sudden it just banged. And like, now look at him, he's scoring like 20 to 30 GA per season. I think similar things are going to happen to Williams.
I do believe this is the most exciting and this is the biggest statement signing Arsenal could make now until the end of the transfer window. Everyone's talking about a striker. This is the biggest potential game changer we could sign right now. Gyökeres, Osimhen, do they move the needle as much as Nico Williams?
Not on a long term, and not from a, because the thing is, right, if you think about it, us signing Nico Williams strikes fear even into Man City, regardless of how good Man City are. Man City look at this move and go, shit, okay, they ain't messing about. And I think that's what it is. It's what this brings. This is the aura signing. This is that, you know what we wanted Declan Rice's signing to be? I think this is that. This is a bona fide superstar in the making. And we've managed to take him from one of the biggest clubs and biggest names in the history of Spanish football. And that to me is seismic. Firstly, to take a Spanish player is difficult enough when Barcelona or Real Madrid are interested in you. That's what I think this epitomizes. Forget the quality is definitely there, but it's all of that package that really brings this and goes, shit, they're serious.
On the deadline day, going to La Liga offices and paying the 50 million. We've done it before with Thomas Partey. It's just, can we convince Nico?
I think that's, you know what it is? The last thing that I want to say on this is, I feel like this is why I've been saying to people, be patient. Not because I knew this was going to happen or that this is in the pipelines or anything like that, but this was something which we needed to wait for because we wanted Barca to be out of the race, which it has been for a few weeks. But now the question is, can we convince him to join? Because a matter of like getting the signing done isn't the problem. Personal terms are not a problem. It's whether we can convince him and his camp to make the move.
Nico Williams, can't he see and that the Barcelona project is not really at this moment in time, like they're nowhere near competing for the league against Real Madrid.
You can't ever write Barca off though. They'll win the league this season.
Does he want to stay in Spain? Is that what it is?
That's more of it, yeah. But that's what Spanish players are like, though, especially the ones who grew up in Spain.
Hey, maybe the fact that we have Mikel Arteta, Mikel Merino.
But we don't have any Basque players though, so it's a bit different.
Isn't Mikel Merino Basque? Isn't Arteta from Basque?
But no, but they're Sociedad though, and they're not Bilbao. There's a thing. It's not Bilbao, but then again, like a lot of Spanish players don't really like moving. They're not like that keen on the moves to other clubs anyway. But for me, when I look at it, I think it is a task to convince someone because you got to also remember Barcelona. It's like they are the leg, like them and Real Madrid. If them two are interested in you, it's like Juventus in Italy and Bayern Munich in Germany. It's very, very, very difficult to convince a German to not join Bayern Munich and join like an English club instead. So I do think, look, it's gonna be one of those ones where Arteta and Edu have to, like, if they get this done, I'm behind them so because if you can convince a player like that to move, you're doing something right.
Okay. Before we go any further, I need to know what some of the people in the comment section are saying because
it's actually very mixed.
This stream is going off right now. There's some people actually saying leave Nico alone. Why?
They're probably saying it because they think we'll destroy him. I don't know. But they're actually someone who said Williams. He wants Nunez over Williams.
Yeah, we're gonna get on to Nunez in a second. Bring Nunez to Emirates. He's a proper striker. Suits Arteta's system. What? Really? Do you hear it? No, but think about it. Do you really want your striker core to be Havertz, Nunez, and Jesus? All three of them have the same flaw. None of them are clinical.
I don't think we're bringing Nunez to be a striker.
What do we bring him in to be? A winger?
Be a left winger.
If we bring in Nunez, you thinking we're signing him to be a winger?
Yes.
Really?
Yeah. Because so look at the way. Do you want to move on to the Nunez or am I?
Yeah, so apparently Eduardo Higgins was actually one of the people who broke the news first, and then Camden tweeted it. So here's the actual news, just so everyone knows where it came from and who it originally came from. This is a reliable source, and it's somebody who's tweeted stuff like this on numerous occasions. He said Arsenal are interested in signing Darwin Nunez before Friday's transfer window deadline. The player is keen to move to London and work under Mikel. So clearly this shows that there's been some conversations with the player. And to win trophies, plus Liverpool are willing to sell. Improbable, but not impossible.
Yeah, I feel like I feel like this is one of those ones where we're just casting a wider net just to see what's available. And
I can't believe this. I feel like this is desperate. This is not calculated.
No, I think this is a backup option.
How much are Liverpool willing to sell him for? Do you think it's opportunistic? What is it?
I mean, if we're looking at it, they're bringing in Chiesa, or it looks like they're going to bring in Chiesa anyway, and they're going to probably want to move on someone. And Darwin Nunez probably makes the most sense for them to move on. I reckon they'd want like 60 to 80 million, you know.
So just looking at Darwin Nunez finished 8th last season in the Premier League for non-penalty goals and assists in 90 minutes. And he was actually better than every single Arsenal player when it comes to actual goal involvements per 90 minutes. That's very interesting. Also, I don't think he's that good of a finisher. I think the way that he plays, he's more of a disruptor, somebody who causes chaos like Jesus. Do we need another Jesus in the team? Do we need another? He's not clinical. He's not a game changer. He just adds more depth. Doesn't really benefit us as somebody who's going to change the game. I don't think he's going to come on and be like a difference maker on numerous occasions. I view him as more of what we already have and nothing new. I want more difference makers. I want players that come on the pitch and cause not just cause chaos, but actually cause the opponent to think twice before they make any moves or go forward, or defenders try to push into midfield because they can just leave him to do what he's doing. And also, if we bring in Darwin Nunez, you're saying he's going to play in the left wing.
That's my theory. I have reasons to why I think that'll be the case. Firstly, what we've got to understand is Gabriel Jesus at the moment is injured, and it looks like he might be out for a few months. So in reality, we may actually need someone in because Eddie Nketiah is gone as well. So the reason why I think he'll play on the left is this: when we look at what we're trying to build, especially on that left-hand side, Mikel Merino coming in, Ricardo Calafiori coming in, and obviously, let's just say hypothetically Darwin Nunez does come in and that's the left-hand side. What typically tends to happen, especially within the system that we play, Ben White overlaps, Saka overlaps, and Odegaard likes to cut back as well. So when we're looking at it, you then have at the back post, you'll have Darwin Nunez, Kai Havertz, and Mikel Merino, and potentially Calafiori as well, or Urian Timbers, depending on who plays left back. So from that right-hand side, Saka, Ben White, and Odegaard are now going to be able to cross into Darwin Nunez, Kai Havertz, and Mikel Merino. That's 6-foot-plus players in the box who are going to have presence. And also, Darwin Nunez can head a ball. It's not a case of like he doesn't have a good heading ability to him. So that's the reason why I think he may be more of a winger who comes inside than anything else.
You know what? I need everyone in the comment section to do me a favor right now. There's a poll question. Please do answer. Would you take Darwin Nunez at Arsenal? And also, do me a favor. Also, like the video. Please do hit that like button right now. It helps out the channel massively. This is a Call of Duty. I need you guys to do that for me and hit that like button. It helps out the channel so much. You don't understand. Now, before we move on to Mikel Merino and other players, do you want to look at Darwin Nunez's RB ref? Because when I look at Nunez, the main thing that sticks out, bro, you can't win the league with Darwin Nunez as your striker, but you think we can win the league with him as our left winger?
I mean,
he misses so many clear-cut chances that he single-handedly can lose you games.
But that can be any player, though.
But at the same time,
other than Erling Haaland, there's no guarantee that a player is clinical. Like, even if you look at Mbappe's start to Real Madrid, are we really going to sit here and say he's been good? That's what I'm trying to say. Like, even an Mbappe at the moment is struggling. So there can be, look, there's a lot of misses and opportunities that we can have in this window. By the way, I'm not even saying this is true, and I'm just entertaining the idea of it. But I do think what Darwin Nunez offers us and what he can do, I like it. I'll be honest with you, I'm not mad at the signing.
I'm not gonna judge him based off of all of his positive traits. I'm gonna just look at the main things that I know.
What I want to, if you look at the way
when I look at Darwin Nunez,
for me, I think it's a tweak in the way he plays.
What is he gonna bring? Is he gonna bring pace in behind?
Yeah.
Is he gonna bring somebody else that can link up on the left hand side?
Yes.
Is he going to be a person who, when it's a tight game, you can depend on him to be that guy who can get you a winner?
Potentially.
Do you view him as somebody who can cost you a game also, with numerous great opportunities?
But that's any player.
Okay.
If I ask that question about Eucharist,
is he not one of the highest underperformers of XG?
Yeah, but so many players have gone to clubs that just don't suit them, or the system hasn't suited them.
So Liverpool didn't suit him?
Not in my opinion, no. So
at Arsenal, he's going to be better?
I'm not saying he's going to be better, but I think you see an improvement in him, yes.
Last season, Darwin Nunez had 36 appearances in the Premier League. He had 11 goals. His XG was 19. He left 8 goals on the table. Okay.
Yeah,
His
but
first
XG is a bullshit stat. Though.
his first season in the Premier League, he played 29 games. He had 9 goals. He left 5 goals on the table. He should have had 14 based on XG.
Yeah, but XG is
XG
such a
XG is a way to determine how accurate how well you convert your chances, in my opinion. And a +8 XG is mad. He basically left 8 goals plus on the table, and there's other goals that don't even count. That could be side nettings, could be just completely scuffed the shot. They don't even factor those in. They just factor in chances that are actually high quality chances that could have gone in. And he's one of the worst. For example, if we're gonna compare this, let me show you the actual stat, so people just don't think I'm making up shit. I'm gonna show you the actual stat. This is how bad he was last season at converting his chances. Bro, look at that compared to what he scored. Now, if I compare this to the Premier League and I show you the rest of the Premier League, what the XG was for players in the rest of the Premier League, he was probably one of the worst at that. 1 second. I don't even know how to work this thing, man. Okay, so let's just go in order. Players that scored the most goals. Last season, not this season. Why is it on this season? How do I change this? You know,
I've never used it. I don't know.
Here it is. So last season, boom, we scroll to last season, we go down, right? You see Erling Haaland, he left 4 goals on the table. He should have scored 4 more. As you can see, Cole Palmer outperformed his XG when it came to goals, right? By a really good amount. Isaac by 1 goal. Solanke by 1 goal. Phil Foden outperformed his XG by +7. That is nuts. He's in the green, 7, right? Mo Salah 3. These are all normal, right? But let's go to the Darwin Nunez's. Let's go to the Gabriel Jesus's. Darwin Nunez -8. Where's Havertz? How many goals did Havertz have last year? Havertz basically scored the chances that he should have scored. He didn't leave too many on the table. Look at Jackson. Jackson left 5 on the table.
Yeah, but you see, okay, so even with that Kai Havertz one, I disagree. I think he missed a lot more chances than he actually that suggests.
Where's how many did Jesus have last season?
God knows. I can't even remember when he played.
I can't remember exactly how many Jesus had, but let's see what Jesus had, because Jesus missed a bunch of chances. Jesus himself had 3. Do we want to add a player who's worse than all of our players at converting chances into this team? Do we want to add? He is a problem for Liverpool. Liverpool are willing to get rid of him because they identified him as a striker, but he's not a striker. He's just a attacking player that can play across the front 3 and is not necessarily effective in one specific area. But the way you play, you're gonna have to have him play out of position. I don't think he's a striker. I don't think he's a winger. In both scenarios, he can bring you strengths and weaknesses, but overall, the main issue is when you need him to score, he's going to let you down. If you want him just to be a creator, fine. But are we really going to buy Darwin Nunez to be a creator from the left-hand side?
But I mean, the same questions were asked of Kai Havertz, and look at what he's done. The same questions were asked of Ben White, the same questions were asked for Ramsdale, the same questions were asked of Raya, the same questions were asked of Reiss as well. You know, there's so many players who we keep questioning, but they keep coming through. So it's like, how many more times are we going to question the scouting system, and how many times are we going to question the talent idea of maybe an Arteta, or even if this is an Edu signing, and then they come through? I get the disappointment of missing out on the league. But the one thing that we've done is we've produced goals. Goal scoring hasn't been the problem. I feel like our problem is not being able to freshen up the team enough. Because for those who don't want to believe it, we were only 5 goal difference from a Man City in terms of how many goals they've scored and how many goals we scored. So in reality, we're not really making up a huge margin. It's, for me, the defensive area of the team that actually let us down more than the attacking side. I know we kept the most clean sheets, but in those games, we did make mistakes. And that's the biggest problem. We need to rectify not making mistakes and actually being conceded. So for me, like, I'm not mad at the Nunez signing. There is a logical sense that can come
Are
from
you
it.
saying a bench option?
Yeah, I think he's going to be an impact player. Think about it: 60 minutes, 70 minutes into a game, and he comes on. He can do a lot of damage. He'll wear, like, your team's already, your opponents are already worn down, and this guy presses like a monster. You think about it. Look at how Odegaard presses. That's how Nunez does it. Nunez is a pressing machine.
Bro, I feel like at this point, this is desperate. This is a panic buy. This is.
I love it. I absolutely fucking love it, because at the end of the day, everyone turns around. Everyone panics and everyone's scared. Everyone's like, "Oh my god, we don't." But then everyone turns around at the end. So I'll just wait for that moment. I'll wait, because I get it.
So in the case we don't get Nico Williams, we're gonna get Darwin Nunez.
I don't know. I don't think this Nunez news is true, in my opinion. I'm just entertaining it. Like, I'm speaking as if it may happen, but I don't think it will.
I hope it's the same as the Rashford stories, where they just eventually disappear. People saying they'd rather keep Eddie Nketiah. Come on, let's be real. Let's be real. I wouldn't rather keep Eddie Nketiah. But yeah.
No, like I'm aware this isn't real news. I don't believe there is anything in it, and if anything, it's being more pumped on the Liverpool side than anything. But I'm just entertaining it for conversation purposes.
So yeah, you're just trying to have a conversation. You're basically you're pulling a Shannon Sharp.
All right, let me address some of these comments. And right, so one of the biggest things that we ask of Arteta is in-game management. Can he change the game from the bench? We ask him to use the bench. Now a lot of people are like, "What's the point of an impact sub? What's the point of this? What's the point of that?" This is why I keep saying I really don't care for the haters. I really don't care for the negatives. And do you know why? Because the goalpost keeps changing for them. When you talk about having an impact player, they're like, "Oh yeah, but why are we signing an impact player?" But was it a big problem that we weren't using the bench? So maybe Darwin Nunez comes off the bench. I don't know. But
listen to this, Igel. We would never, ever get Nico Williams because it makes sense. So we won't do it. The club's just gonna do the opposite, bro. People want Nunez. Are you guys serious? Oh my god!
Like I said, I'm not mad at it. It's not my again. Let me just reiterate: it's not my first choice.
Okay, let's talk about some other transfers, because there is other news besides Nico Williams and Nunez. Did you hear?
To those in the comments,
What
rather
about
than
Kingsley Coman?
criticizing, actually make a fucking point, because none of these are actually countering the points being made. You're just saying shit. But carry on.
Let's go to Twitter though. Next, Gabriel Jesus is still injured, so we're gonna need another player.
Hell no.
I think we need to move him on.
But is there any bias for him though? That's the real question.
I would try to move him on if we could. But who's gonna buy him? That's the problem. I get it. Who's gonna buy him? That's an issue. I get it. But what can you do?
Because I haven't heard of like concrete bids, or like, yeah, there's been interest, but no one's actually bidded for him.
Yeah. Quickly, let's talk about Eddie Nketiah. We got 30 million. How do you feel? You're loving it.
Yeah, like I said to people, you know what? Sometimes being patient pays off, because I think Marseille wanted to pay us like 20 million or 25
22 million pounds.
Yeah, so it was like one of these ones where I was like, look, we value the player at 30 million, and apparently the add-ons are fairly easy to achieve anyway, so it's basically a 30 million pound signing. And for me, do you know what? Like, if I look at it as an overall, for Eddie Nketiah, this is a good deal, because Crystal Palace, for me, suits him and what they're trying to do. I know they've lost Elise, but generally the way
it's
that
definitely an upgrade on IU.
Yeah. Like, I think the way that like Crystal Palace set up and what kind of player they need, I feel like Eddie Nketiah suits them to a T, and I think he will bag. And the thing is, look, however many goals he gets, I don't regret selling him. Do you know why? Because this is his level, and I feel like he'll do really well at this level. But the problem is, the minute he makes that step back up to a bigger team, you'll start to see that level drop again. And that's kind of the reason why I do believe, like a Crystal Palace, where the games are a lot more open, teams don't necessarily park the bus, he's going to bag. And I think he's a great shout for your FPL teams.
We'll have to wait and see. I'm not bringing him into my FPL team, but I definitely do think he'll get anywhere between 10 to 15 goals for Crystal Palace. As for Fábio Vieira on loan, amazing. He wasn't going to get play much game time. Yeah, I look very silly right now saying he was my surprise of the season. He's definitely not going to be the surprise anymore. But for him to go back to Porto, this we've learned from the Aaron Ramsdale debacle.
Actually, in a way, you kind of win the argument because this was a surprise. I didn't think they'd loan him.
We learned from the Aaron Ramsdale debacle. No need to devalue a player who's not going to get much game time. Send them out on loan. Can try to get their value higher up, and this benefits us massively in the long term and the short term.
Yeah, do you know what? I think one of the best things about this loan move is one of the stipulations is there's a 50% fine if he doesn't play a certain number of games. So Porto are encouraged to play him.
Yeah, let's try to quick fire through some of these because we need to talk about them quickly. Did you see this? Basically, Chelsea are out on Osimhen, but they still want him. Osimhen prefers to go to either PSG or Arsenal, and now Chelsea have made a move to sign Ivan Toney.
Yeah, you know what? Toney to Chelsea makes a lot of sense. I think he's a player that suits them to the T, and it's a player that will do really well for them with the chances that they create. So I think it's a good move for them.
Do you think Osimhen is better for them, and they should still go for Osimhen? Obviously.
Do you know what it is? I actually don't know with Osimhen. I don't know how good he actually is. If I'm being honest,
Oh, wait 1 second. We got a super chat. Let's go to super chat. Stop everything we're doing. Big up to super chatter. KD in the building. I don't know if that's Kevin Durant or that's your nickname, but he's saying if we get Nunez, I'm certain Arteta has a god complex. Does Arteta have a god complex? That's crazy. That's crazy.
Maybe he just knows what he wants. I don't know. Like
Arteta has a god complex.
Potentially. I don't know. I wouldn't say it's a god complex, but I'd say like he sees what he wants and
he's a Captain Save-A-Ho.
Basically. That is him in a nutshell. But you know what? It's worked so far. I mean, I know we've not won the league, but we do need that depth, and he does offer depth, and he is a player that suits us to a T as well. So I don't know, man. I don't know.
Why is Arsenal not going for Ivan Toney? Well, if you don't know, Arsenal have made it clear that they're not interested in Ivan Toney. They actually met with him face to face in the summer, and they're not interested in. But today, AFTV had a report, and Robbie went live with a whole video stating that Arsenal are going to make a late move for Ivan Toney.
That's bullshit.
You think so?
Yeah, the chatting mackers. Absolute mackers.
Why would Robbie do a whole video ruin his credibility?
Because it's clickbait, isn't it? It's good views. But it's not going to happen. Categorically will not happen. That Toney to Arsenal has sailed. Like, that's miles gone. Because one of the biggest things is that Ivan Toney, there's a situation with the board and Ivan Toney. They don't like him. So...
People saying AFTV is already finished. Robbie is just scavenging for likes.
Look, there's probably rumors that are true to it, but I don't believe that that's.
But in a world where we hear news stories like this, people are just hungry for fake news. It's never going to happen. Even if
I'm not saying that's what they're doing. There probably is some truth to it, but I don't believe there is. I think it's sort of BS. But
what do you think about this? Chelsea got in trouble. And now the FA, what do you call it? The football FA in England are looking to basically get rid of banishing players from your own ground, because Chelsea have now banished a whole bunch of players from their training ground, and they think that this should be illegal.
They should just demolish that club, because what the hell are they actually like? Who authorized them to have 50 players?
I think this is just Chelsea, man. They're preparing for a transfer ban, in my opinion. Chelsea to me seem like they're preparing for something.
I think this what is it, the Cowboy Blues or whatever this
the amount of players they're signing.
Yeah,
they
you know,
must be
Todd Bowley
preparing for
said he wanted
something.
to rename Chelsea to the what is it, Cowboy Blues or something. I think all that's going to be is a second team at this rate. They're going to get a second stadium and try and I don't know what they're doing over there.
Listen, long story short, this is not that big of a topic to stay on for too long. But you know what is a big topic? The Victor Osimhen stuff. So we're going to talk about Osimhen in a second. I want to be careful. Mad things pop up. I like a bunch of crazy stuff. Next, Kingsley Coman. Would you take Kingsley Coman?
I'm not opposed to it.
What's his wages?
But the problem that I have with Kingsley Coman is
28 years old.
Is his injury
wages.
record. I don't like his
wages. He makes 19 million a year. What is that in weeks?
Isn't
Bro,
that like
he's on 326K a week.
Yeah, forget that.
He's on 326K.
But don't forget though, the German taxes are a bit weird. So when it comes to the UK, it'll be different.
Okay. Regardless, he's still on like 250 plus in pounds.
I just don't like his injury record. Other than that, I think the play is great. But I just don't
forget about injury record. He has not had a 10-goal season once at Bayern.
Yeah, because he's always injured.
He's not had a 30-game season once at Bayern.
Yeah, because he's always injured. That's what I'm saying. Injury, you can't forget his injuries. His injuries are awful.
Why would we even buy him then?
I don't think we are. I don't know where that's come from.
Yeah, Kingsley Coman's not happening. That although people are getting desperate and they would take Raheem Sterling, I'm actually scarred by the people who think that Raheem Sterling would be a good signing. I think that's the stupidest thing ever. Raheem Sterling to Arsenal at this point. Why are we talking about Raheem Sterling? The guy's washed.
Oh, we don't know if he's washed, but yeah, no, I know what you're saying.
Would you take him at Arsenal?
Depends on the deal.
Would you take him at Arsenal if he said he would take a pay cut and be on 150?
But then what's the transfer fee?
That's
if there is one, I guess. But yeah,
25 million.
Yeah, I'll do it.
I wouldn't take him for free, mate. I wouldn't take him for free. Although there is a club that is looking to take him. Did you see this? When is the fight? What fight? What fight are people talking about? I'm not fighting.
You're fighting Lee Gunner.
When am I fighting Lee Gunner? What the fuck? Anyways, Jadon Sancho likely to exit United before the deadline, and Man United in talks with Juventus and Chelsea. Now, Chelsea would also like Raheem Sterling to be used in the deal as a swap. Personally, I think Chelsea, if they were to get Sancho for Raheem Sterling, they would be in the same position. Jadon Sancho would just be another player who they need to find a way to implement into the team, and they'll get rid of a problem in Raheem Sterling. But Man United it doesn't get any better. They're better off selling him to Juventus and getting cash in hand. This doesn't make sense, and that's just me. What do you got to say about that?
I think Sancho would be good for Chelsea. I think they could do something with him and Cole Palmer on that side. Bring like Cole Palmer more into the 10 and then bring Sancho onto the right. Could cook, I think that there could be something in this. But Sterling's not a bad player, man. I think people are disrespecting him too much.
What about this one? Chiesa, 10 million, 15 million, 10 million actually. They're saying 10 million for him to go to Liverpool. I think that's a bargain.
You know what? That's a very low risk, high reward potential. Because yes, his injury records, even if you look at Chiesa and you speak to the sort of people who are like advocate, like, Italian or Serie A watchers, they have said that he's not that guy anymore. But for the £10 million mark, £15 million mark, I think it's a very good deal for them to make. Because even if let's just say he flops, it's only 15 million. Who cares?
No, I hear it. It's definitely one of those situations. Some people would say a lot of people are getting mad at the possibility of even speaking about getting what's it called? That guy, what's his name? Darwin Nunez. Everyone's just triggered by the potential of even looking at Darwin Nunez at this point in time. Just before we go any further, I just wanted to show you something about Victor Osimhen, because people keep talking about Osimhen to Chelsea, Osimhen to Chelsea. This Damasio guy in 2024, I think this guy's finished. I don't think he knows what he's doing, but he spoke about Chelsea and Victor Osimhen. He spoke about Chiesa, but the main thing he spoke about this right now. He said 18 minutes ago that Chelsea are still interested in thing. Where is it? Direct line from Chelsea to Victor Osimhen continued the latest. So Damasio basically saying they're still keeping in contact. And earlier in the day, he was also saying that PSG are now considering a move for Victor Osimhen. Ladies and gentlemen, Arsenal fans, forget about Osimhen. He's going to end up at either PSG or Chelsea. There's no way Arsenal is going to make a last-minute move for Osimhen, in my opinion. And I don't think he's even the type of striker we want. Do you agree?
Yeah, I think it's quite evident because Benjamin Sesko was the player that we actually were very interested in, but obviously Sesko made the decision to remain at RB Leipzig for another season to develop and all of that. So when you look at that, I think the only strikers I can see is like a Gyökeres being quite evident. I don't think Victor Osimhen is someone that we may have asked and inquired, but I don't think he's the striker we want.
You know what I need everyone to do? We have over 384 people. We only have 105 likes. This is a call of action. I need you guys to do me a favor. Let's get this at least to 200 likes. Hit that like button right now. It's absolutely free. It doesn't cost you a single penny, and it helps out the channel massively. You guys don't understand. Every time you like that video, it gets me more people viewing the channel, and that gets me more subscribers, and that maybe helps me to get more notoriety, more viewership, and also more opportunities to get more people on that are better guests. So hopefully you guys can continue to hit that like button for me, as it helps me out massively. Now, we have spoken about a lot of stuff, and some of the stuff that we've spoken about was not necessarily Arsenal related, but there is something big that Arsenal have done. Mikel Merino has been able to seal his dream move to Arsenal, and this is Mikel Merino as a youngster. Like, is it me, or every time we sign a player, they were Arsenal fans when they're young, or is this just? I just find it hard to believe that we have all these guys that were Arsenal fans when they're younger. Like,
but don't forget, Arsenal were dominant when these guys are young.
Crazy.
But I don't think like we had a presence at that sort of year group, let's say.
Yeah, no. And he's gonna wear the number 23. Mikel Merino has signed. I was speaking to some people.
Why does the 3 look like it's not printed right? It just looks off.
It looks a little bit like it's not aligned with the number 2. Because as you can see here, the 2 ends here and the 3 is a little bit higher. Yeah. I hear that. But this right here impressed me. Yeah, I love the PR. I love the PR though. And you know, did you see the thing? Do they look alike, or am I tripping?
No, they look like twins or brothers, you know.
Yeah.
They actually look like they could be related.
Did you see Liaz's tweet? Liaz tweeted something like Mikel Arteta and Edu and them were all standing next to each other. And he's like, yo, they look like 3 levels of Pokemon evolution.
Do you know what? Yeah, I see it. Like, you know the funny thing, they kind of got the same head shape. I don't know what it is.
Edu's Charizard.
No, you know what? Edu and
Mikel Merino's Charmander
look the same.
Arteta's what? So who's Charmeleon? Who's Charizard? And who's Charmander? That's the question. What do you call it? We'll unsubscribe if you have more Hussam here. Why?
What's your beef with them?
What's your beef with Mo and Hussam? Michael Ramsey, what happened? I used to see you all the time on Hussam's channel, also in the comment section. That is a turn of events that I did not expect right there. Bro, we're also linked to some random youth, as we always are. Did you hear about this Dutch kid that we're linked to?
No, I don't know.
He's Danish actually. He's from I think he's from Denmark. That's Denmark. My bad. Denmark is Danish, right?
Yeah. I don't know who this
Caught
is.
Offside. Caught Offside have reported that Arsenal are interested in Andreas Sok Olsen from Club Brugge, and the signing would be between 20 and 30 million. This just sounds like BS. To me, this just sounds like BS.
I don't know who he is. I can't. I'm not even going to comment. I don't know who he is.
Yeah, you know, these kind of links usually are from the agents trying to push their player out.
I don't think we'd pay that much for an academy player. So I can't. I don't know how. I don't know.
Is it a situation maybe we're trying to improve the academy?
I know that's what we're heavily doing as well, just to be able to get our profits up. It's similar to what like Chelsea do with Coman, where they develop a lot of these youth players to get that 100% profit out of them. So I think we could be doing something similar, but I don't know who he is or what he is. I don't even know what his age is, so I couldn't say that that's probably the intentions behind it.
Also, Reiss Nelson might be staying. What do you think about that?
Kind of expected with the way that the transfer window's gone. I'm not saying I'm happy about it, but it's the same with the Kiwior situation. I kind of expected it to happen, especially with Eddie and Nketiah now gone. Let's see if we sign an attacker, and then obviously with Jesus being injured, it kind of makes the most sense. But at least we're using him.
They describe people as donkeys. That is just an insult. It's like calling somebody a waste man. Michael Ramsey, that is a very common thing in the part of the world where Hussam's from.
Yeah, in the Arab world, yeah.
Yeah, that's very common.
I'd say it's even common in the Asian world. So a lot of the culture is calling people donkeys.
And you know the crazy thing is though, a donkey is a very useful animal. It's not like it's like a shit animal that doesn't do anything. Donkeys help a lot of people.
Workhorses.
Yeah, they're very if you don't have a horse where you're using donkeys are used to transport water and heavy things from distances. So it's like I don't know. But hey, what else is there? The Aaron Ramsdale thing. Is it still on the screen? Am I still sharing screen?
Yeah, you are.
So this one right here, Aaron Ramsdale, it is. We have had rumors that he's had an offer from Southampton because Southampton's goalkeeper situation has gotten a little bit weird. The goalkeeper that they were supposed to sign is not happening. So this is a situation right now where it's very interesting. Do you think we will end up seeing Aaron Ramsdale move late in the window to a Southampton and we can end up going and get Joao Garcia? Or do you think it's too late, too close to the end of the window, it's not going to happen?
A bit of both. I feel like we're probably focusing on an attacker to the point where someone like a Garcia coming in, I don't know. I don't see it happening personally. I think this could be something in January or potentially even a Ramsdale loan move.
Yeah. Aaron Ramsdale, it's going to be difficult to see this move happening this late in the window. It's very, very different. We got Boots Vance in the building. What are you saying? What's good, lads, with Darwin Nunez? What?
What's good, lads? With Darwin, yeah, Darwin. So you don't win.
Yeah, you don't win with Darwin, man. Darwin Nunez is not going to win you nothing. Actually, technically, they won 2 cups with Darwin Nunez, but I don't think he is that guy. I don't want him personally. I would stay clear. But you still would take him.
I said I'm not mad at the signing. I'm not saying I'd take him. There's a big difference. I understand the signing.
Okay, one more. Samuel Adingra. What are we saying about Samuel Adingra?
Is that the Brighton guy?
Yeah.
I've not watched him closely, but the games I have seen, I mean, he scored on the weekend, I believe, as well, which was a pretty nice finish. But I haven't watched him closely, so I'm not too knowledgeable, let's say, on the player itself. But I think from what I've seen, like the little bits and bobs that I have seen of Brighton, he seems like a good, tidy player who's got, bags of skill. He's got a lot of potential, but it's not someone that I know too much about, so I don't want to comment just yet. But I think from what I've seen, tidy player.
All right. As for as for the last thing that I wanted to talk about, do you still play EFC? Do you guys still play EFC?
As in like
Arsenal's,
FIFA.
Arsenal's rating, Arsenal ratings got me impressed. We got a situation where we have an 89 player, we have a bunch of 87s, 86 in Gabriel, Ben White 84, Martinelli still 83, even though he performed pretty bad last year. Havertz moved up to 83, Reyes 83, from 82 to 83 now. Partey went down to 82, Jesus went down to 82, Ramsdale went down 1 to 80.
No, he went down 3.
Oh, Ramsdale was 84.
Yeah, he was an 84.
Okay. And then Calafiori, Timber, and these guys, they're pretty much all the same.
Yeah, Trossard stayed the same.
Trossard stayed the same. The thing I like about Trossard, if you guys play FIFA, he has a 5-star weak foot, and he's probably the best striker that we have if you put him as striker in the game. And then, but overall, I really don't really care too much about ratings. But one thing I do think is it's nice to see when you have players that are really highly rated. Because if I'm not mistaken, Odegaard, Saka, Rice, and Saliba are rated as the top 50 best players in out of the men's category. And I think Gabriel
Odegaard is virtually one of the best players in the game. Like, I think Haaland is 91 and Mbappe is 91 and Vinny's 91. But there's very few players who are above Odegaard.
No, I hear that. Anyways, we're going to wrap it up here, ladies and gentlemen. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this stream. We kind of started rambling about other stuff now. I don't think there's anything else that we haven't mentioned that we need to talk about. We spoke about everything. Yeah. Once the transfer window's over, we're going to probably just do regular conversations and discussion streams. Right now, obviously with the window, we're going to have to be a little bit sporadic, and whenever there's major news, we'll go live. Big up to you, Souls, for joining me. I know it's quite late for you. You got to go to sleep and do your thing. Hopefully you enjoy yourself tonight and you get a good, nice rest, and I'll catch you in the next one. Big up everyone in the comment section. Saliba should be 99. We'll have to wait and see. By the way, guys, do me a favor. Please do like the video on the way out. I will be on Hussam's channel, so this will be redirecting to Hussam's channel. Come join me. Show some support in the chat, as the chat is always dominated by rivals. But yeah, we're out of here, people. Catch you guys in the next one. Peace.